Are you an executive assistant considering making a career change? Are you an administrative professional wondering if there's a different path you should take? I recently had the opportunity to ponder the road not taken, and I landed squarely in the camp of transitioning out of my admin role. In this video, I'm spilling the tea on the 5 compelling reasons why you should consider leaving your admin role. And here's the twist: it's not about the money. Intrigued? You won't want to miss this. Stay tuned for a revealing exploration into a career shift that could redefine your professional destiny. Welcome to the channel, episode 4 of the Admin No More show. My name is Tanya Finks, and I help high-performing rockstar admins like you transition to the non-admin career of your dreams without burning bridges or spinning your wheels. Today's episode is all about the 5 reasons you should consider a transition to a non-support role. If you find this content useful, then give it a thumbs up. And if you have admins in your life who would benefit from this content, please do share it. You could change your life. So I recently had the opportunity to celebrate the career of the manager who originally hired me in my admin role in my organization. And when I worked for him all those years ago, I knew he was a wonderful person, and that came through in the celebration of his career. But what I also learned in celebrating his career is that he was brilliant at his job. And I was proud to hear him celebrated and really honored to be able to participate in the event. And I loved working with him. I absolutely loved it. I attended his wedding, and I genuinely treasured our working relationship. And I came away from the retirement celebration really thinking about, I think something many admins ponder is spending their entire career with one manager and staying through their retirement or exploring a different path like I did. And as I thought about what could have been the career I could have had, and I thought about the career I did have, I'm grateful for the time that I spent working with that manager, and I'm grateful that I had the opportunity to take a different path. So I'm going to share the 5 reasons I think it's important to consider a career transition out of the admin role. And I will say this before I start: I highly respect administrative professionals. I celebrate the profession, and I offer an alternative. So here we go. Reason number 1 to explore a career transition is you get the opportunity to discover new skills and aptitudes. So before my transition out of the admin role, I tried several ways to expand my responsibilities in my role and increase my intellectual engagement. I think in my years in my role, there was a constant tension between trying to do the best job possible in the responsibilities that were expected of me and looking for ways to contribute in other ways to my managers and to my organization. And I think while my managers supported my efforts to expand my responsibilities, there may have also been a frustration with my constant striving to do more. After my transition, my last transition out of the admin role was into a peer supervisor role, which ultimately led to a learning and development role and becoming a senior manager in my organization. And along the way, I learned that I have a talent for solving complex problems. And I, in my admin role, was looking for problems to solve. That was my constant striving for new responsibilities. But in the course of my career after the transition, I had many opportunities to solve great big problems. And I learned that I have a talent for it. I have a talent for strategizing. I have a talent for making sense of complex issues. Not only do I have a talent for it, I love it. I thrive on it. And it turns out I'm a really decent people manager, which I wouldn't have known had I never left my role. So I really got to discover new talents and skills and passions that weren't available to me from my admin seat. So that's reason number one. Reason number two is an opportunity to challenge yourself, which leads to growth. Before the transition, from time to time, I had peer challenges that I had to navigate, and the challenge that I mentioned previously of keeping myself engaged. I will say that throughout most of my admin career, I had wonderful peer relationships, but nothing is perfect. And anytime something isn't going quite your way, you've got to figure out how to navigate it, and you've got to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. And I did have to learn to navigate some tricky situations until they found a resolution. And then there was the fun challenge, actually, of learning new skills so that I could be more useful to my managers. I enjoyed those challenges. But after the transition into more complex roles, I had many challenges, which required me to grow in myriad ways. I had significant challenges working with a colleague that required me to really invest in figuring out how to make it work. We each had a body of work that we were responsible for, and that work depended on us being able to collaborate effectively. And when we started out, that was not happening. But I'm proud to say that in the course of our working relationship, not only did we overcome the challenges, but we became the best of friends. And it's a people accomplishment I'm really proud of. Also, along the way, I was given a number of projects that required me to learn new skills, learn new information, get outside of my comfort zone. I had to interact with new levels of the organization in different ways than I'd had to interact in my admin role. All of that required me to challenge myself, to step outside my comfort zone, to try new things, to evaluate how I'm doing and find new approaches so that I could be more and more successful every year. Those challenges were extremely engaging. I spent a 27-year career in one organization and never felt like it had been 27 years. I felt excited to go to work. I felt excited to approach my job because it always challenged me. It always called on me to lean on my strengths in different ways, to find new approaches, to pay attention. And it's something I'm really grateful for. It's something that I treasure about the career that I've been able to have. If you're not sure where to start with navigating a career transition, you might benefit from mentorship. So I put together a guide that you can download for free called Supercharge Your Career with Mentors, Advocates, and Sponsors. I put together this resource because I know the value of having a support circle around you, no matter the season in your career. Mentors, advocates, and sponsors are valuable every step of the way. But I can say for myself, I didn't know how to find them. And I'll also say, while in my admin role, I didn't know the value of them. The purpose of this resource is to really help you leverage the advantages of having that support in your career. If that sounds valuable to you, you can grab that at adminnomore.com/4. The third reason to consider a career change to a non-support role is to find purpose and meaning in your career. Before my transition out of the admin role, I had to refocus myself on how what I was doing was contributing to the company mission. And I'll be honest, I felt removed from the company mission. I hadn't done a good job of really creating that connection for myself and staying present to that every day. Years after the transition, I was nominated for a leadership program that encouraged me to identify my leadership purpose. For me, it was an opportunity to reflect on my purpose in life, my purpose in the world, and how to bring that into what I contribute to my organization. And it was significant for me. It informed the rest of my tenure as a leader, as a people manager, and allowed me to align that with my company's mission. It made my work personal every day. Okay, so reason number 4, the opportunity to create impact. Before the transition, my impact primarily was on my manager's efficiency and effectiveness. And I also had the opportunity to help establish our first internal Toastmasters group in my local office. Both things I'm proud of. After the transition, I had impact in multiple ways. I established an onboarding program that served as an example for others in my organization. I developed robust career development resources for my department. I designed a team that is well regarded and in demand and thriving and happy. These are impacts that I'm extremely proud of. These are impacts that are deeply personal. These are impacts where I felt like I had an opportunity to really invest myself, my talents, and what's important to me. And reason number 5, leaving a legacy. Before the transition, my legacy involved making a great man more efficient, which frankly, I wasn't all that great at. I struggled to stay focused and engaged. So I was a fine admin, but I never felt like I thrived as an admin. Following the transition, when I retire someday, I'll leave a number of accomplishments I'm proud of and a multitude of associates on which I've had significant impact. Hopefully, I will have had a brilliant career that can be celebrated. Again, if you're considering whether or not you should pursue a career change, I think having a mentor can be extremely helpful. And if you're not sure how to find a mentor, how to establish that relationship, what the difference between a mentor and an advocate and a sponsor, how to find any of those to support your career, please do go and grab the free guide, How to Supercharge Your Career with Mentors, Advocates, and Sponsors. You can grab that at adminnomore.com/4. The question of the week this week stems from a discussion we were having in the nonprofit where I volunteer. We were talking about the importance of mentors in every season of life. Our nonprofit serves high school students and provides them mentors for the duration of their high school careers. We talked about the importance of mentors in college and when starting their careers, but mentors can be important in every season. I'm starting to look for a mentor for myself now, in fact. But for admins considering navigating a career transition, you would definitely benefit from a mentor. Here are a couple of ways to go about finding someone appropriate. If you know what career you'd like to transition into, then it would be beneficial to make connections with people doing that job. Find several to learn from, and where you find a connection, establish a relationship of mentorship. If you don't know what career you'd like, connect with several people doing different jobs to learn about those jobs and learn where you might have interest, and pursue a mentoring relationship with that person. If you know former admins who have navigated the terrain from admin to non-support role, connect with them, and where you find connection, establish a mentoring relationship. I remember as I was newer in my people leadership role, I saw someone in a meeting who I thought carried herself in a way that I would love to emulate. And so I reached out to her and invited her to coffee, got to learn a little bit about her, and I was honest with her. I told her that I'm really impressed with how she manages herself and her career, and I would love it if she would be open to meeting from time to time to just chat, let me pick her brain and benefit from some mentorship. And she was willing, she was honored. And for the time that I met with her, she was really helpful in what I was navigating at the time. So, mentors, awesome. I hope you got so much value out of this episode. If you did, please like the episode and leave a comment below and let me know what you found valuable. If you know someone who would benefit from this content, please share the episode. And if this content is speaking to you, I hope you will subscribe. Remember that you are awesome, my friend, and you deserve good things. And I will see you next week.